Have you ever wondered why some people spend entire days in their rooms, avoiding the world outside? Is it laziness, or is there a hidden struggle we rarely see? Maybe you've done it yourself, choosing the comfort of your room over social interaction, but felt a twinge of guilt or shame afterward. In adulthood, society tells us to be productive, social, and constantly on, which makes retreating feel like failing. But what if staying in your room isn't a choice of laziness, but a coping mechanism for deeper issues? Anxiety, social pressure, or past experiences can make the outside world feel overwhelming, and the room becomes a safe haven. The problem is, this retreat can slowly intensify feelings of loneliness, low self-esteem, and even depression. And here's the unsettling truth: many who stay hidden like this might seem fine on the surface, while quietly battling inner turmoil. Recognizing this behavior, whether in yourself or others, is the first step to understanding the psychology behind prolonged isolation. Because behind closed doors, there's often more happening than anyone realizes, and it can teach us a lot about fear, comfort, and mental health. Have you ever labeled someone who stays in their room all day as lazy or unmotivated? You're not alone. Society often jumps to these judgments without seeing the full picture. The truth is, isolation isn't always about avoiding responsibility or effort. For many, staying in their room is a way to cope with overwhelming stress, anxiety, or the pressure of adult life. Some people retreat because the outside world feels unpredictable, harsh, or exhausting. Even those who appear confident and successful can use their room as a sanctuary to recharge or protect themselves emotionally. And here's the twist: what looks like avoidance may actually be a protective mechanism, a subtle survival strategy for mental well-being. Misunderstanding this behavior can make people feel more isolated, judged, or ashamed of their coping methods. By challenging these misconceptions, we can start to see the hidden psychological reasons behind prolonged isolation. Because once you understand the why, the behavior stops being a mystery and starts to make sense. Why do some people feel safer behind closed doors than in the world outside? The reasons often run much deeper than laziness or boredom. Anxiety is a major factor. Social situations, unexpected interactions, or even simple outings can feel overwhelming. Depression can also play a role, draining motivation and making isolation feel like the only refuge. Some struggle with social phobia, fearing judgment or rejection from others. Overstimulation from work, social media, or the constant noise of modern life can make retreating to a quiet space essential. Burnout is another hidden cause. After constant demands, staying in your room becomes a way to recharge and protect your mental energy. Even seemingly normal adults can have these struggles, hiding their coping strategies behind closed doors. And here's the surprising truth: what looks like avoidance often signals an intense inner world, a mind seeking safety and control. Understanding these psychological reasons is key, because it transforms isolation from a flaw into a signal worth noticing and addressing. Have you noticed the routines of someone who spends most of their day in their room? Many retreat into gaming, scrolling endlessly on their phone, or binge-watching shows to escape reality. Some create strict schedules or rituals that make their room feel like a controlled, safe space. Overthinking and mental rumination often accompany these behaviors, keeping them trapped in their own minds. Even seemingly harmless habits, like staying in pajamas all day or avoiding daylight, can signal emotional withdrawal. These patterns aren't random. They reflect attempts to cope with stress, anxiety, or social discomfort. Interestingly, people often maintain a digital presence, staying connected online while avoiding face-to-face interactions. And here's the subtle warning: these behaviors can slowly reinforce isolation, making it harder to reconnect with the outside world. By recognizing these patterns, we start to understand the underlying mental and emotional struggles behind prolonged room staying. Because behind these routines lies a mind searching for comfort, safety, and a sense of control in a world that feels unpredictable. Have you ever thought about what prolonged isolation does to the mind and heart? Spending all day in a room can intensify feelings of loneliness, even if someone stays connected online. Social skills can weaken over time, making interactions outside the room feel stressful or unnatural. Chronic isolation often deepens anxiety and low self-esteem, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Depression can creep in quietly, turning the room into both a sanctuary and a trap. Physical health may also suffer. Lack of sunlight, irregular sleep, and minimal movement can take a toll. Even relationships with friends and family can strain, as distance and secrecy build subtle walls. The more someone isolates, the heavier the emotional weight becomes, often unnoticed by others. Yet recognizing these consequences is crucial because awareness is the first step toward change. Understanding the cost of isolation can spark curiosity, reflection, and eventually, a desire to reconnect with life outside the room. Have you ever wondered how someone can gently step out of prolonged isolation without feeling overwhelmed? The first step is acknowledging your feelings, accept that it's okay to retreat, but also okay to want change. Start small. Open the curtains, step outside for a few minutes, or send a simple message to a friend. Mindfulness can help pause daily and check in with your emotions, noticing what you truly feel. Setting gradual goals like short walks or small social interactions can slowly rebuild comfort with the outside world. Therapy or counseling isn't a weakness. It's a safe space to explore why isolation became necessary and how to navigate it. Creative outlets, journaling, or hobbies can provide expression and reduce the urge to retreat completely. Self-compassion is key. Celebrate small victories and avoid self-judgment when progress feels slow. Over time, these steps help reconnect you with people, sunlight, and life beyond the room. Because even small actions can break the cycle of isolation and restore a sense of control, purpose, and well-being. Next time you or someone you know spends hours behind closed doors, pause and ask what's really happening inside that room. Isolation might look harmless, but it often signals deeper emotional and psychological struggles. The choice to stay hidden is understandable, yet it comes with consequences for mental, emotional, and social well-being. Even small steps toward reconnecting with sunlight, friends, or the outside world can spark meaningful change. Imagine what could happen if you acknowledged your needs, slowly let go of fear, and allowed connection back into your life. Every tiny action outside that room is a reclaiming of freedom, authenticity, and self-worth. And here's the lingering thought: what would your life feel like if you stopped retreating today? Because behind every closed door, there's a person capable of growth, healing, and rediscovering the world around them.